The North Country is aging, and our healthcare system is not ready for it. Hospitals lack specialty care. Assisted living facilities and nursing homes are overcrowded. The thing is, experts say the best care is not at any of those places. It's keeping people at home. A special two-part series starting on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Pearsall Wealth Management at UBS Wealth Management USA, subsidiary UBS AG, member FINRA SIPC, 1 Broad Street, Glens Falls.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Monday, December 18th. First up, the storm that hit the region yesterday and today is causing serious flooding in parts of the North Country, especially the Adirondacks. 2 counties have declared states of emergency. Flooding caused some schools to close today. The Cascade Pass on Route 73 between Lake Placid and Keene closed, and many other roads were closed as well. Flood watches and warnings remain in effect until tomorrow morning. Anna Williams-Bergen has more.
Warm temperatures melting snow have combined with heavy rain to create flooding across the North Country region. Franklin, Essex, and Warren counties, as well as the town of Wells, have declared states of emergency. The town of Jay and the Ausable Forks Fire Department are recommending some residents evacuate as the Ausable River continues to swell. Leslie Breyer pulled off Route 86 by the ski jumps outside Lake Placid, where the road crosses the west branch of the Ausable River.
Right now we are looking at water that is almost completely at where you would pull off to park by River Road, at the grass level. This is probably the highest I've ever seen it, and I grew up here in Lake Placid. This is kind of incredible and terrifying.
Scott Parker of Hamilton, Ontario, was in town to complete the 46ers, but rangers at the Adirondack Lodge said it was unsafe to hike.
I have done 41 of the 46ers. I came down here this weekend to complete the 46ers, and I am deciding to turn around and do the 8-hour drive home because the water levels are higher than I've ever seen them in the dozens of trips that I've made down here.
Officials are warning residents not to drive through standing water, even if it appears shallow. The National Weather Service forecasts up to 2.5 inches of rain across the region. Anna Williams-Bergen, North Country Public Radio.
Caitlin Kelly contributed to this story. So here's a major problem with home health care. There's a dire shortage of aides. And we're going to look into what happens when that care isn't available tomorrow. But today, in the first of a 2-part series, we see what in-home care looks like when it's working. Monica Sandreski brings us the story.
Good morning.
Good morning, Freddie.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Nah.
Good.
Freddie Gonzalez is 80 years old and lives on a dirt road outside of St. Regis Falls. This Adirondack ranch is paradise to him. A few years ago, though, he suffered a stroke that left him weak on his right side and unsteady on his feet. So he called North Country Home Services in Malone looking for someone to help him with daily life, like walking around his house and prepping meals. That's when Dylan Torrey came on.
It's been a long time. I honestly don't remember when I started.
I really don't remember, but I know that at least 4 or 5 years.
We're just going to take it day by day, and it's already been 5 years.
Torrey laughs behind a blonde beard. He's wearing black sneakers and a T-shirt with Albert Einstein on the front. The two of them have learned a lot about each other over that time.
How long were you in the military? I forget. It's 30 years?
30 years.
Yeah, he talks a lot about his military days, which is awesome. How he used to run the roads. You had a wife in Montreal, and then he would have to drive all the way to South Carolina, and I think also, Texas at some points? Yeah. And then get on a Navy ship, because he was in the Navy. So he misses running the roads.
Thank God I'm retired. I'm finished with that life.
Across the North Country, thousands of older adults are aging in their homes, which is a good thing, and we'll hear more about that later. But to do that, they need the help of a caregiver. Torrey comes by 5 days a week from 9 to 2 to prep Gonzalez's peppermint tea and hard-boiled eggs with blue cheese. He picks up groceries, opens his pill bottles if they're stuck.
I gotcha.
Navigates credit card mishaps over the phone.
I thought it was one of your older numbers, Freddie.
Yeah.
For your military discount.
Yeah.
and helps Gonzalez navigate the driveway.
Slow and steady, Freddie.
This is what good in-home care looks like. Becky Leahy says aides are the backbone of elder care. She's Tori's supervisor. And she says aides don't provide medical care, but they're trained to observe changes in their client's health and notify their supervising nurse.
They've fallen, they have a fever, their legs are swollen, they're short of breath, they're, got chest pain. They're told me they're sad today and they don't want to live anymore. They haven't eaten their Meals on Wheels that have come in 3 days. I mean, that's on a daily basis.
And her nursing staff can address any medical issues. The end result is that Gonzalez is able to stay in his home years longer than if Tori wasn't there.
The return on investment can be enormous by avoiding hospitalization stays and premature placement in skilled nursing facilities. And I'm sure there's health concerns of people that aren't receiving care and what happens to them.
That's the big concern in North Country healthcare today. Leahy says there aren't enough home care aides to meet the needs of the region's seniors. She employs about 170 aides, and Medicaid has approved her agency to serve another 1,000 hours worth of clients per week. But she can't because they can't recruit the staff. One issue is pay. Aides are paid through Medicaid reimbursement set by the state and federal governments. That means Gonzalez's caregiver, Dylan Torrey, earns about $18 an hour. Leahy would love to pay him twice that. But what this means is that a lot of aides come and go, and lots of people don't apply to begin with.
George, right? That's George?
George.
In the living room, Tori leans in as Gonzalez points out a photo on the hutch of him and his Navy buddy. There's another picture of Gonzalez with his arm around his late wife, Sylvia.
Do you still get to see her kids from time to time?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about see them, but you get to talk to them on the phone a lot, right? Have they shown up in person?
Yeah.
Many seniors in the North Country don't have family close by. Even if they check in over the phone, Leahy says family members often don't realize how much their loved one's physical and emotional health has deteriorated.
Home care has really opened my eyes to the human condition and what is happening in our homes with our loved ones and our family members, and how their lives change over the years, and how difficult it is when their families move off and away, and some of them are so isolated. It kind of opens your eyes to the importance of that kind of service.
Tori wheels Gonzalez into the bedroom for his sponge bath.
Once a man, twice a child.
You're terrible.
Once a man, twice a child, he says. Tori washes under Gonzalez's arms.
You feel better?
Yeah, much better.
Another important part of having aides come back year after year is that they build trust, and that in turn helps an older person's health outcomes.
I had that stroke since 2008, and I'm still alive.
Still alive and look young.
In my mind, I feel like I can live another 80 years.
I think you could do it.
And with Tori's help, he's on track to live out his years with care. Monica Sandreski, North Country Public Radio.
Tomorrow on Northern Light and Story of the Day, we'll hear what happens when older adults can't access in-home care and what it would take to make it available to everyone who needs it. That's tomorrow on Northern Light and Story of the Day. We have more news, including the latest on road closures from the flooding and lots of photos on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Ramon Vasquez and Michael Hart of Malone and Patricia Julian of Burlington. I'm David Sommerstein, North Country Public Radio.